but at least I was home. At least comfort in my own bed tonight, right? No. All right. So what happened here is I was sleeping, just sleeping. I didn't move. I was just asleep. I reviewed the camera. We have cameras in our home, and I was like, did I move? We didn't move. Just woke up in extreme pain because I pulled my upper back while sleeping.
The future of music.
The future of music. The future of music.
The future of music.
The future of music.
The Future of Music podcast.
Hey there, and welcome to the Future of Music podcast, where we show you how to survive and thrive in the future of music, but not in health, longevity, wellness, anything else. I'm Ryan. Jonathan's here. Let me tell you about my past 6 days here, John. Let's get story time. Let's just do some story time. So about a year ago, I saw this thing on YouTube. It's Rockford Speedway, right? I mentioned it in one of the previous episodes. It's the most hillbilly thing in the world that I could possibly want to do. But being from Ohio, I want to do it, said hillbilly, right? So I make this elaborate plan, right? Elaborate plan. And it is, I'm going to fly into Akron, where I'm from. I'm going to hop in a car with my childhood friend, Colin, my brother-in-law who's younger than me, Joe, his best friend that I've known since I've known Joey, Barry. We're going to drive all the way to Rockford, Illinois. And it's just west of Chicago. So we're talking like a 6.5, 7-hour drive. So we get out there, and I'm going for one reason, right? The Rockford Speedway is this like figure 8 racetrack. And they race buses on it. It's just this bus race where they wreck into each other. It's school buses. It's great. And it's the last year. They're demolishing the track. It was built in the 40s. They're demolishing it after this. I had to go. So I went for this one key purpose. We get out there. We go to the event. After getting to our campground, we set up the tent and the mattresses and everything. And then we get to the event and we start watching. There are a couple races going on, a couple of them. And then the rain started. And it's okay. They came on and said, hey, if the rains are dropping, we're not stopping. And I said, great. I don't mind getting wet here. So I kept having a couple beers and it was just downpour. And then the lightning came. And that's when they canceled the bus races. Canceled. So I saw a couple races, but we went back to the tent. We forgot to close the tent. So it was a pool. The tent converted to pool.
Good.
Slept in there in the cold because it's like 50 degrees to 40 degrees in Ohio now. And then we drove back home the next day. And about the next day, I started having a little bit of a cough. And I was like, oh, no, this isn't good. I think I'm getting sick from being cold. It's okay. I fly home today. So I went to my flight. Canceled, John. So I had to then wait for the next day to come home, even more sick. But at least I was home. At least made it. Comfort in my own bed tonight, right? No. All right. So what happened here is I was sleeping, just sleeping. I didn't move. I was just asleep. I reviewed the camera. We have cameras in our home, and I was like, did I move? We didn't move. Just woke up in extreme pain because I pulled my upper back while sleeping. And I thought that I was the only one that all this could happen to. So I sent you a message saying, hey, I'm not feeling so good. I pulled my back last night. And what happened to you? How was your week?
Well, for one thing, we had to get some concrete in our wall completely blown out so that we have a huge hole in the wall that's open to the outside, 2 huge windows, concrete, so they have to redo the whole thing like a parking deck. And my dad texted me today and said, hey, there's a huge storm coming, a lot of rain, a lot of flooding. Just wanted you to know. But
Cool.
on top of that,
Dad.
thanks, Dad. On top of that, somehow, Ryan, the very same night that you pulled your back muscle, I somehow pulled my back muscle, and I can't look down. I can't really look to the side. So here we are on the future of music.
But we're making it happen. The laughing hurts. Laughing is painful. I'm looking right now, like at the bottom of my monitor. So I hope that you're in frame But yeah, that's where we're. So great day. All right. So,
Right.
so we wanted to do something kind of fun and a little different today, and I'm pretty excited about what we have here, and it's essentially it's y'all, all the people listening to us, even through our misery. I pulled together some of your comments directly to us, some of your questions, some of your kindness, some of your not so kindness. I pulled it all in for us to answer. So we're literally going to be responding to your comments because we do that thing. So if you want to be a part of this, we're going to continue doing these. Make sure you like, subscribe, you click the alerts button, and you follow us on your favorite podcast platform app, I guess is what the kids call it nowadays. And when we go there, but that's what we're doing today, John. You don't even know. We're too busy like putting Tiger Balm all over our upper bodies at this point and just making our home smell awful with it that you didn't know. But we're going to talk about your comments today on the Future of Music podcast, and we're going to just talk through some of this stuff. We're going to answer these questions. So let's just dive in. And of course, right now you won't be able to see them, John, but I'm going to put them up on the screen and everything. It's going to be beautiful. People are going to feel great about it, I hope. And we'll continue doing it.
Beautiful
But
comments.
Our first one is specific to VR music apps because we've been doing a lot of that lately, mostly because it's just like booming now. It's starting to take over at this point. And the comment is, I have used a number of VR music apps, but really cannot see the benefit just yet. I think the real benefit is in AR and having multiple screens or expanding how we interact. But I don't discount the value, just the ease of use. Just don't think we have found the sweet spot yet. But I would really love to see this particular app, the ones that we just recently mentioned, on Quest 3, for example, with pass-through ability and an interface using your tabletop, your desk surface. So this is one of our followers here, one of our listeners that really doesn't see much value yet in doing the VR music apps. And, first I'll respond with thanks for responding, as well as I probably will have cracks in my voice because I'm still sick and broken. But with that, yeah, I would say that we didn't start diving in really. I mean, I know I did Virtuoso quite a bit, but at certain times I kind of struggled with it because I'm so like my brain is so set on what we know as recording. It's the DAW as we know it with the computer, with all the platforms that we use, all the hardware we use. So it takes time to adjust, I feel. And I feel like we're going to see that now with that Korg one that we chatted on, Korg Gadget VR. That it's kind of starting to get closer to that feeling as we go. But I think it's a learning curve, and I think it will be for a while. But what do you think, John?
Yeah, so I totally see that, and we feel that too, that most of the VR music apps that are out there right now to make music feel like a Nintendo Wii, where it just kind of feels like not that it's a joke, but it's like a prototype. It kind of feels like that. And I want to make a big distinction that there's two different things that you can do with music in apps right now, at least VR apps. One is record music, right, which we talked about with the Korg VR gadget. If you haven't seen that episode, highly recommend it. It's actually our most popular episode so far. Incredible stuff that they're doing. So that's one thing, is making music and learning how to record it, produce it, engineer it, etc., within a virtual environment. The other thing is learning music for the sake of playing it for enjoyment. And that is severely lacking. And the reason I think that is because with any new technology or new idea, we as a population, we try to take the old solution and put something new on top of the old solution. But that's like when we had horse and buggies and then we went to cars. That's literally like trying to take a horse and putting wheels on it. That you don't put wheels on a horse. That's what they're trying to do right now. And that's why the apps feel like wheels on a horse. It just like doesn't. It's not good. It's not right. You can see maybe that there's some potential, but that's where we're at. We're at the horse with wheels phase, and I think it's really going to take off. And we are actually designing a lot of this in the background. It's really going to take off when we start approaching music, VR music apps from a completely new paradigm, a new perspective of, and use let's say the native capabilities of VR to create, instead of trying to take the old and shove it into the new. It's just not going to work that way.
Good points. And I think that the other thing mentioned here is Quest 3. I don't think they've announced a release date, but I think a lot of people are assuming like end of year they'll start to have the announcements coming out for Quest 3. And with that, we have a shot for Meta at that point to see what's going on with Apple and their
Mm-hmm.
Vision Pro and how they're not so focused on gaming. And maybe we'll see some influence there
Mm-hmm.
for they're more accessible than Apple Vision Pro. Quest 3, hopefully, it's more accessible. And maybe we'll start to see some of that brought into the pass through kind of feel as well, because I think that we definitely need both. And in all of those episodes, we've talked about how we as musicians and people that record would use all of those almost as like a stepping stone or like a starting phase to the
Mm-hmm.
actual recording process. My brain has never left that I'll end, at least now, in a DAW and working through recording as we know. But
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to record, zone out, have fun, and then export at least an initial thought or concept into the DAW created by VR apps. So yeah, and I think that at the very least too, using them as just a form of trying it out and seeing like what happens. Do I have creativity in here? Do I not? What do I like? What do I dislike? And just keeping with trying all the new ones out until you find one. Again, I've
Mm-hmm.
tried a ton, and I'd say out of probably the 10 that I've done music focused, I really like two, and I really
Mm-hmm.
lean towards those. So I think you'll find that. The next one is a very kind comment. It is nice podcast. You're critically underrated. Keep it up. I hope you feel the same
Nice.
after this one. After you can see, I feel like I should just, maybe it's already happening. Like I'm like those pain medicine infomercials where I've got like the lightning bolts going in through my back muscles right now. Maybe I'm red hot right there. Maybe there's just like a big red circle that fades out right in that area. But we appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
listening, so thank you. This one I really like though. I really want to chat with you on this one.
Okay.
Another great episode. I can't remember what episode it was, but thank you. My question is for people like me who haven't got the skills set yet to make music using the guitar, but want to capitalize on AI and maybe building a global business and income stream while it's hot. I'd like an episode. Well, we could talk a little bit about it here, step by
Yep.
step, on how I can earn money using AI to be able to
Mm-hmm.
sign up for things and programs. I think that would be incredibly helpful. Keep up the great work. I love listening to the episodes on my morning walks. First of all, thank you.
Love it.
We appreciate that, and we love to hear that, and we're glad you're here. I think we've talked about this a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably in like one of the first 5 episodes really went into these ideas. And that was what, 2 months ago, but in terms of AI, that's a
Mm-hmm.
lifetime of time. So we've seen some changes. So I think it's a good way to revisit. And that was when we were chatting about the idea of like maybe starting up a YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
specifically dedicated to just creating AI music and just getting content out there and starting to go and push. And a lot more people are actually doing this. And we'll kind of talk about that in the next question, but I don't want to skip ahead. But I really think that one still stands. We're still seeing that happen. We're still seeing people go viral with AI generated music and
Mm-hmm.
using other people's voices or just writing music as well. But yeah, what do you think? Any new thoughts, John? Any new concepts that your brain has been focused on for making music with AI stuff?
Yeah. Well, not so much about making music with AI, but specifically
Money,
answering the question.
money. Sorry, music,
Yeah. Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Specifically about making money with it. Right. So, number one, we should do an episode about this because we have been getting a lot of questions. I've definitely been getting other questions about it as well. So we should 100% focus on that.
Mhm.
And off the top of my head, in terms of skill level, so two things. One is I'm really happy to see whoever is asking this comment. Thanks for your comment. I'm really happy to see that somebody is saying, I really want to get into the music space. I want to capitalize on this movement, but I can't make music with a guitar yet. Right. So one of the things that we are working on, we meaning Ryan and our team, in the background is actually developing a system to allow any person to learn and play music without having to learn an instrument and without having to study music theory.
Mhm.
So that removes the barrier of having to learn a trumpet or a guitar or a saxophone or anything like that, right? So we are working on that. The answer to the question about how do I make money with this? Well, there's 3 things that I can think of off the top of my head with increasing levels of difficulty. without having to learn how to play a guitar. So this has to do with AI music, right? The first thing is you can actually just write about it. You can just write about AI music, what you're hearing about it, or you can get ChatGPT or something like that to help you write articles for it. And as long as you have a distribution channel, maybe that's a social media channel, maybe that's your own website, whatever it is, you can actually just write about that. And then whenever you start getting traffic on the page, you can let's say, Google display ads on the page, monetize the traffic that way. You could potentially sell some kind of products, maybe a course or maybe a t-shirt or something like that. But that would be one way to start that loop of driving traffic around the area of AI music. Now, I know that doesn't have anything to do with actually playing music. So the next thing is actually playing music, or at least helping getting AI to help you play music. So there are a number of different tools and websites out there now where you can essentially create music using AI, right? You don't have to play an instrument, you don't have to play guitar or something like that. And what you can do is you can take whatever your creation is. It's the same business model as stock photos. So you take your creation, you take your song, if you will, and there are places where you can go upload that and get paid a small fee, a small royalty when somebody downloads your track. So, for example, there's one in particular that I'm thinking about called Epidemic Sound. I know there's a lot of others, but there's a website called epidemicsound.com, which is a really interesting name. But basically, you can go there and you can just look for songs. You can look for tracks, and you pay like a small fee per year or something like that, and you can just download tracks if you need to. That would be a way to potentially monetize AI music, but you don't have any control of it, and you probably won't make that much doing that. Another thing you could do, which is one level above that, is go on Fiverr or Upwork or something and find somebody who's looking for creating backing tracks or creating soundtracks or creating movie scene songs or whatever, and use AI tools to create that music to do that. So you can get paid basically as a freelancer to do those kinds of things. And then at the highest level, so these are 4 different ideas. At the highest level, this would probably take the most skill and the most time, but you could actually invent an artist, come up with a brand, essentially an artist name, and create AI music and just upload songs, have a YouTube channel, just like a normal band would, right? A normal artist would, but you can kind of be behind the scenes, don't have to show your face, and you can create this image. You can create this brand that is a band or a group or an artist. And if you look at the band Gorillaz, I think they're one of the first that I ever saw that didn't actually have real humans. Obviously real people played in the band, but all of their artwork, all of their videos were cartoons. So obviously it can be done.
Yep. And I think that also, for me, from like the social aspect, one of the big issues that I run into when I have to create content. I mean, when I first started with like the TikTok stuff and everything, I was doing 3 videos a day every day. And the biggest barrier is the content. Like that's the biggest barrier, taking the time to be like, gosh, now I got to like record music. I got to get the DAW set up. I got to mix it. I've got to master it. Now I've got to record to it. I've got to edit everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about AI, it literally removes all of that. That entire difficult process is done. And in a matter of minutes, you could have a song. It might not be the most perfect, beautiful, wonderful song in the world, but it's one, and you could post it. And then you could do another one the same day, and then another one that same day if you want to. You could do 20 a day if you want to, and just do that every day for 6 months straight. And before you know it, at some point, you'll fit into an algorithm. It'll start to take off, and you'll learn in the process too what works, what doesn't. We've even talked about the idea of deep focus music. Thinking about creating an entire YouTube channel that's just deep focus AI music. And that's all it is. It's just for deep focus, chill music, all written by AI. Go check it out. There's a lot of stuff. And I don't think there's like one. I think that's a really good distinction to make. I don't think it's just like this one thing is the best way to make money. It's really what's one way that you think is really exciting for you and something that would really kind of get you going and like amped up about it, and start to test that. Know that if that fails or you end up not liking it, move on to the next, try something else. But I mean, that's the hardest part is done with AI. That's all I'm trying to say. The actual content creation, you were talking about ChatGPT. We're not even talking about music. Even the copy even the article itself. You could go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, I need an article written about this and this. Here's some keywords to use. Make it 4,000 characters. Boom. It's done. So it's not hard. But it's a really good question. I'm glad we're starting to spark
Yeah.
the conversation of making money with AI tools. And hopefully that's helpful. But I'm going to list that down. I think I want two things. I marked down that we should do an entire episode on that, number one. But we should probably do an episode on that with some of the people that we already know doing it well on YouTube.
We should.
So that we can have them on.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll do that.
We should get the Chill Hop. We should get the Chill Hop folks on. They're a huge channel.
Listen to them way too chill. But maybe that'll. Do they have back healing?
It can
music?
be a smooth jazz. I don't know, but it can be a smooth jazz episode, and we can talk like this.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. I'm into it because my voice hurts still a little bit.
Good.
But we're good. Yeah. So the last thing that I want to hit here, the last question that we have is a legitimate one, because I think I was asking myself the same question before we really started doing a lot of the work we're doing here, and that is, where is even one single track that I can listen to? Like, AI music doesn't feel real. Are you crazy, people? First of all, that's up for debate. It's possible that we're a little on the crazy side, but that's okay. Actually, it's you have to look for it, but when you look for it, you'll start to really notice how viral these go. So in the past year, there have been hundreds, thousands of songs created and made for things like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything, using other artists' voice. And those are the ones that really took off or are still taking off. I think that, if you just do a simple search like top 10 AI generated songs, you'll start to find them and you could start listening to them. But the biggest one that I know, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes so you can listen to it. I feel like we may get in trouble at this point. It's so viral for playing it on the airwaves and on YouTube, is Heart on My Sleeve by Drake AI. It's a Drake AI that was generated and created. And Drake's aware of it and he's fine with it. And he likes the song too. But Heart on My Sleeve is like the number one that everybody goes to. They're like, you got to listen. If you want to listen to an AI generated song, that's the one to start at. The other ones that fall into the top 10 in the past year, just a few of them are Hey There Delilah, but sung by Kanye West AI, which is hilarious. I Feel It Coming by Michael Jackson AI. Kill Bill by Ariana Grande AI, and then Hello, the old Adele tune, redone by, again, Kanye West AI. So Kanye West AI is a little more popular nowadays than normal Kanye West, is what I'm finding here. A little more accepted, I suppose. But yeah, it's a question that I feel like 6 months ago, if you were to ask, I'd be like, I don't know. They seem kind of rare at this point. But in the past 6 months, there's a new viral one coming out like every 2 hours, 3 hours that's happening. So we'll make sure that we link some so that you can start to dig into them. And all you have to do anymore, and all I do for the research process of our podcast, is go right into YouTube and just searching for AI generated music, filtering by most popular, and starting to listen, just starting to give it a shot. And I think we've done some listening of the Johnny Cash one live here as well. Sure, it's not exactly Johnny Cash, but it's pretty darn close. It's pretty impressive. So it'll put you down the rabbit hole, I think. But I think that answers it. But John, do you have any words of wisdom on digging into AI music?
No, I think you covered it, man. I think you nailed it. Don't have anything to add.
Beautiful. Perfect. Well, I'll simply say that we love y'all. This is incredible. I think this is like our 24th or 25th episode that we've done in a matter of like what feels like 2 months, maybe. I don't even know. Like, and it's insane. We're seeing all of you follow on YouTube, which keep doing that. Make sure you keep doing it. You click like, you subscribe, you click the alert button, you follow on your podcast platform. And then, we're seeing all the comments come through, and we want to do this more often. So I'd say at least once a month.
Yeah, we should.
John and I want to bring your comments to the table. So this should inspire y'all to feel free to comment. Bring questions in, because we'll answer them right here. You'll be on the screen as well, and it'll be so wonderful and nice. But John, I hope your back feels better.
Me too, man.
Yeah. Because, I woke up today being like, it's got to be better today. It's got to be kind of better today. And I stood up.
To move.
Not better. No. Not better at all. But we will be back. And I'm going to put it out there that next week we're going to be perfect. we're going to be in excellent, top
Mhm.
tier
Marathons.
physical condition. And like, we're going to be unstoppable. But again, we appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for the comments. And also check out the sources and the links and everything for every comment there. I'll make sure that we put everything in there in the show notes. But we appreciate you so much. And thank you, as always, for listening to the Future of Music podcast.
Thanks, guys.